Chico Scrapbooks with your make and take for Easter week 2014. This pretty rose trellis tag is great for any little spring gift or just because. So I'll go ahead and show you what we used to make this. And you will remember a few videos back we did a video on the Holtz Alterations frameworks dies. We used the honeycomb and it was a really fun project, and during that video I told you the next one we'd be doing was the trellis. So this is what we did with the trellis. We cut it out of the Graphic 45 botanical tea paper, the one with the pink flowers, and we got lots and lots of these little pieces which we're not going to use on this week's, but I wanted to show you how fun they are because we can definitely use these on a future project. But how we did that was we connected the paper to chipboard with double-sided miracle tape and cut them through for everybody's project. We only used the trellis part. We didn't use the inside. But this is the die, and I would really recommend everybody trying that out because it's a ton of fun. So what we got was just the trellis part, and we used that on top of our tag with some roses that you can see. Hopefully you can see those. The other things that we used on this tag to get the background, we actually used the basket weave and honeycomb set. We used the basket weave texture folder by Sizzix to get this pattern, and we just inserted our tag into the folder, ran it through the Big Shot, and that's how we get this pretty pattern. We also just got in this week the new Prima Color Bloom spray mists, and they are tons of fun, so we wanted to use those. We used the pink ones on the roses. We just drizzled them on to the roses to give that variegated look. And we did the grass, which you can see, with the green. And this is Lime Wedge is the shade of green. And the color that we used on the roses is the Peony. So we just sprayed that on, and hopefully you can see the texture and the detail, maybe easier on the tag. A really fun texture. So we're going to go ahead and get started and show you how we did this project. And of course we used lots of gorgeous distress ink. On this project we used tea dye, Tattered Rose, worn lipstick, Walnut Stain, and Vintage Photo. And for the inside of the background, we're going to start with Tattered Rose, circles, Tattered Rose is kind of a mellow color, and of course it blends well with all the other colors, so it's nice to use with darker shades to give a good contrast. Then we're going to go around with some worn lipstick, blending those two together. Just nice circles, blending the two colors in. Gives a nice dimension when you've got a darker color on the outside and a lighter shade on the inside. I'm going to actually go back in with a little bit more of the Tattered Rose. Okay. And then we're going to edge this piece with a little bit of Walnut Stain. So right around the edge. I do hold my blending tool at about a 45-degree angle when I'm doing this because you don't want a lot of hard edges, just a nice tapered, feathered look. And it makes a really pretty texture and border. Oh, the phone's ringing today. Okay, so then the next step is this little sentiment piece that we did. And this is from Tim Holtz Stampers Anonymous Stuff to Say collection. And it's this piece right here. It says, our heart captures photos of your life, notes that create a timeless story of every day, a journal of memories we cherish, hopes and dreams, the thoughts or secrets, wishes we treasure, the moments you live to embrace love. XOXO. Imagine a journey. Okay, someone really wants to get a hold of us. So we left off that the next step is going to be stamping our sentiment for the piece that goes on the tag, and we used archival ink. I used black on the original, but I think I'll go ahead and do green and see. This is the fern green, and see how this will look. So I'm gonna go ahead and just ink up our stamp. And the stamp is a little bit too long for the tag, so we're going to cut it off. Cute. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and actually we're going to ink it first, then we'll go in and distress. So this is tea dye, and I'm going to give it just a little bit of, just make sure it's totally dry, although I'm sure it is. Okay, a little bit of tea dye. Just around the edges, lightly in the middle. Maybe a little bit of Tattered Rose in there, just to give it a little interest. Your archival ink will get a little bit muted when you go over it, even though it is permanent ink and it does not react with water or distress inks. It kind of does react a little bit because it will sort of mute, just kind of dull down a little bit. But that's okay. Depending on the project that you're doing, that might not be a problem at all. We'll put a little bit of vintage photo around the edges. Just to give it a little bit more contrast. Distress. This is the Prima Distress tool. We use it quite a lot to give everything an older, distressed look. Fun tool. If you haven't used this, it's got 4 or 5 different tools in one. It's got the raspy, the fine, and the blade tool. And then it's also got a wire brush on the end, so you can scratch up your projects and make them look extra grungy and distressed. Okay. All right. So we're going to go ahead and connect our trellis piece onto the tag. And I'm going to go ahead and use Zip Dry. It's a great glue. Dries clear. Okay, so we finally got our glue working. Oh, we decided to do that off camera just so it wouldn't be too embarrassing. Okay, now that our glue is working, we'll go ahead and glue the back of the trellis piece. This is a easy little glue to use. It dries clear, beads up, so you can just, it just balls up and you can pull it away if there's any remaining. And it dries super fast. So make sure you put the lid on it. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and set our trellis piece down. If there's any glue that does seep through, like right here, you can just take a little paintbrush. And my good friend Jim Hankins, Jim the Gentleman Crafter, does this and shows this. It's a great way to get rid of little excess visible glue that might be showing in hard to reach places. But yeah. All right, so that is that, and then we're going to go ahead and I'm going to go in and give this just a little bit more contrast on the edges. A little bit of Walnut Stain Distress Ink. Okay. And I think that's really pretty. We're going to go ahead and pop dot that. Some little 3D foam squares. And peel those off. And position that on our tag, like so. And we'll go ahead and cut off this little square tip, and go back in and give it its little edge. Rough it up and ink it up. So it looks like that. And then we're going to go ahead and move on to the next step. So to do these roses, which is, we had a ball spraying them. I'll show you these little on the pink. And we'll do a few white ones at the same time. What's great about the bloom color sprays is they've got the little mixing beads in there. So there's a lot of mica at the bottom. And you can drizzle these or spray them right on. But the drizzle, I don't know if you can see that, it's not really a spray. It's just a slight little squeeze and the ink comes out in bigger droplets, kind of like a spurt. And the roses just look gorgeous. So hopefully you can see that. And our little ivory ones we will set aside. Really pretty. Fun way to use the spray, and it gives a really pretty shimmer effect. If you've got extra ink laying around on your craft mat, after you can pick up another tag and just soak up the ink. Gives a fun texture. This is just a spare that we use to soak up the spray. Alright. Just going to give that a little wipe. A baby wipe. So that is the roses, and we also connected these with pop dots. Go ahead and put these on. We'll put another one right there. put as many or as few as you want to on a project like this. I think an odd number is always a good idea and gives a nice balance to any project. So we'll just keep it at 3. To do the grass, we use Holtz Alteration Tattered Fringe Die, and we cut it into strips to fit onto our tag. And we did the same thing with the green lime wedge. The die will put the paper out together like this, so when you pull it apart, you get 2 pieces. But I'll go ahead and show you the spritzing, a spray effect, and then more of a spritz. You just kind of let it drizzle and drip. Smaller spray, and let it dry with the thick layers on there. You can go back and pick more up to give it a fun texture. And then you'll want to hit it with your heat tool so that the ink will dry. We use regular cardstock with this, and it will curl up a little bit when it's wet, but as soon as it dries, it will flatten back out for the most part. Okay. And you can layer this ink on as thick or as thin as you like. And there's kind of how it looks, the spray and the drizzle. So you get a lot of shimmer with the spray. You do get a lot of shimmer with the drizzle also. When it dries, you'll see that it has a really pretty texture and has that shine to it. So I'll go ahead and use one of these dried pieces and set these one aside. Okay. And I need to grab my miracle tape for this one. Be right back. So this is 1/4 inch double-sided miracle tape. And we'll go ahead and just layer this on the bottom. And then we will cut it. And lay it down at the bottom of our tag. And I'm just going to go ahead and trim off this extra bit that is showing. There we go. Okay. And set that aside. And then the last thing is just a little bit of beautiful fiber. If you've seen our videos in the past, you'll know that I just adore a gorgeous, organic looking fiber that has lots of texture. So I'm just going to cut off 5 or 6 inches, string it through, and then we're going to do 3 or 4 fingers, loop this around as much as you want, and then we're going to set it down and tie it off. And it makes a very pretty bow that is super easy, even if you have nails and are bow challenged with nails like I am. But that's a different conversation. So that is your make and take tag for this week, Easter week. I hope you guys enjoy this one. And be sure to check us out on Facebook, Chico Scrapbooks. Remember, we do free make and take projects every Wednesday here in the store. And we try to post those videos as fast as we can to Facebook and YouTube. So please subscribe, give us your likes and your comments. Let us know if you're enjoying these videos. Hope you guys can give this a try and enjoy your Easter week. God bless. Bye-bye.